Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're over here talking about whether or not I am a bit of a masochist. Do you think I'm a masochist? Vote now.
I don't know. Do you
Make a poll.
safely eject your SSDs?
No, I usually just
I
pull,
actually
pull them
I
hard.
do. I always have to eject my USBs. I just don't want to lose any data. That's happened to me before.
That's why I asked Scott if he safely ejects them, and I guess
Yeah, I honestly I just want to take a moment right here to say to please always safely eject your USBs before you remove them from your computer.
especially your SSDs.
Of course, your SSDs, flash drives, mice and keyboards, charging ports, anything that you have plugged in your computer, please safely eject before you remove them. Thanks.
This is your public service announcement brought to you by Daelric and Friends.
Why are
Okay,
you laughing?
because we all safely eject them. Every one of us, every time, Messi. Thank you so much for your dedicated hard work and your can that's green screened.
Undisclosed brand.
There you go. Nice. Bud Light. So everybody, I just want to make a quick little. I'm trying to fiddle with how it is that I do the streaming, the sound and whatnot. So right now I'm using the format that I used over on Lost Initiative this past Wednesday. That like I was kind of working on with Mike and them. It might come in a bit different because out of these three here, most likely only Tyler has the same mixer as the three of the other people have over on LI. That's if he even hooked it up, because Tyler probably owns 5 mixers and doesn't use any of them. Is that
What
the
are you
case,
talking
Tyler?
about?
Do you have
I
a
don't-
mixer?
I'm not Wade. If I had the Go XLR, I would have it set up.
You wouldn't let
I
it sit there
don't
for
have
3
the Go
years?
XLR.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Not like Wade. Wade let it sit there for forever.
Yeah.
Also, my sock just ripped. I just thought I'd let people know.
All right, we'll just postpone this week. It can be next week, and we'll try this again. What do you guys think?
I don't know. My other sock is about to rip too.
Are
That's it.
are you
Good then.
in the middle of making an elaborate sock puppet for when you play as Orpheus?
Yes, my elaborate sock puppet of wrists.
Sounds more clean, by the way. Good. I'm glad to hear it. All right, cool. So just kind of keep me posted, because like I actually am listening to the music right now, which I don't usually do. So it might be a little bit difficult to hear you guys. So I'm just trying to find my own little balance. This is
Is this an elaborate sock puppet because it's different colored on the inside of the mouth?
Where is it? 1 second. That
It
is
really ripped, huh?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, both of my socks had holes in them, so I'm like, they're dead.
Yep.
RIP.
All right. So if my sock has like a pinhole hole in it, I like let it go. But as soon as you get like a pinky through it, I'm like rip it open so I don't just forget about it and put it in the laundry and try it again.
Hey, that's me too. I
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. But then I don't throw them away because I'm like, this has use, and I put them in like a bin of like old dirty, like not dirty, sorry, old like ripped clothing that I use for like nasty cleaning projects. You know what I mean? Like let's say I don't know, like a dog vomited or something like that. I'm like, oh, cool. I can clean it up with this like old shirt or something and throw that away rather than wasting paper towels. Hey.
Yeah, that's what I do too, except I have overflowed my storage capacity for them, so they start going in the trash. I also used to use them as fire starters when I was in Scouts.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. I mean, if there's nylon in them, that'd be kind of scary. And I assume you wear
That's-
nylons.
Nylon socks?
Just nylons in general.
Occasionally. I wouldn't use that for fires though.
Okay, I just make sure. So, all right. Anyways, so last session, let's kind of pick up where we had left off.
Yeah, what happened? Because I forgot everything that happened last Friday. I even forgot like my appointments this week because everything got changed. It's been a day, man.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well-
let's continue.
If Tyler can't remember, I think Arena should remind him. Rena, would you like to tell Tyler what happened last session? I know you have your
Yeah.
cookies. You're being satisfied as we speak. Why don't you let us know?
Well, it's funny because I actually did rewatch the VOD the other day, so it kind of worked out. Because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna forget unless I watch it. So last time on D&D, we defeated all of the zombies. That was last time, right? Yeah, because we went like it was like a super long, like a 3-hour special. Anyway, we defeated the zombies. And then we made it into Momley. Like just got into Momley. And there's like 2 sections of the city you were saying, like we're on one side and there's like a bridge and that takes you to another side, or there's like warehouses or something on the outskirts. Anyway, so we are near one of those warehouses where Ophios like has
remember
his
now.
like his like other people of his race live there, so he's like trying to establish a connection and like kind of get us into club, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so Messi and I are literally outside talking
No,
about
we
food.
started walking through the tunnel. We hadn't gotten.
Well,
to the
yeah, that's
place
the
yet.
last thing that happened. We were outside and then you came back. You ran into your like the past snake lady in your life, and then we also talked to this you also talked to this other half snake dude where it's like instead of his top half is a snake, his bottom half is a snake.
Yeah,
He had an attitude problem. And then there's a
Yep.
giant fire lizard in the basement. Don't know what that's about, but it keeps
Yep.
the whole place like super toasty for all the lizard people that live there. Is that good? Is that a good recap?
It's a salamander.
I honestly think that was enough to remind Tyler of everything that transpired.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
welcome.
Now, Messi wasn't listening. Tyler, do you want to say it again so that Messi was...
Yeah, we're walking down the
What'd we
tunnel
do?
into the snake lair right now.
Perfect.
And Ophios is leading the way, and you're like, there better be showers. Good God. I need a bath.
Yeah,
I need
and
a
food.
bed and food. Oh,
Bed would be nice.
Mem is asking, will these replace daddies eventually? Kind of redundant to have both. If you're talking about the stepdaddies that Twitch kind of like has on there, it's a cute thing that allows people that just watch to play with the emotes and highlight their messages and stuff like that. So, meh, keep them both there because it's a different function entirely from impacting the game. One impacts the game, the other one is just you having fun in chat. So, we're gonna keep daddies and stepdaddies.
I'd like to point out that you need to give it a custom logo because it looks lame just as that circle.
It just says, logo. Oh, I should do that. That's a good. Thank you, Tyler. Actually, I appreciate that. I'll take care
You
of
can
that.
put my face there because I know you have a few of those saved.
Actually, well, we won't talk about what images of yours I have saved. So,
TOS.
last time we we ended it literally as you were saying, Rena and Tyler. Thank you guys. Not you, Messi. As you're literally walking into the cave for the first time with the three of you, and as you guys went down there, you had bumped into the sorry, Tyler, you went down there, bumped into that lizard guy. These guys are now coming down with you. You haven't actually seen anybody else yet.
If I remember right, he was leading the way, and I can't remember if I filled them in about staying out of this guy's way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had gotten any further than just entering the.
Yeah, and you guys, or mind you, Yonda's complaining about wanting a bath. And...
I don't think we planned on getting any further, so we can just
Start from there.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So literally, you guys had walked down into the cave. You heard the description last week. It goes on for a while, and as it goes, it gets warmer. Until eventually it breaks off into 3 different doorways. But these doorways, it's important to note that they are not like doors that you can go walking through. They're actually low, and so you kind of have to like duck and crawl through them, which is instinctive. Like the way Ophios moves under there, it's literally like an instinctive movement for him. It's very fluid, like well practiced, because this is kind of normal to his people. It's not the same structure. They clearly didn't design this, but it's normal enough to what your people typically have, right?
So is my axe gonna fit or no?
So it's funny, as you're walking down the tunnel, your axe fits no problem, but you literally have to like take it off your back, assuming it's strapped to your back,
Like
right?
put it through first and then crawl after it.
Yeah, it's one of those like you just kind of like go underneath with it, you know what I mean? And just like hold it in your hand as you go, and you'd be fine. So
Ophios would merely say, "There's one others that lives here. Stays out of his ways, or else there'll be problems. He's the keepers of this place."
So, as a reminder, the far right is the room that is the warm one. The one central is kind of like the storage room. The one to the left is like the sleeping area. So, what room do you lead them into first, or do you guys just kind of all go and explore on your own? Or
Ophios would direct them to continue following him and say, "Follows me this ways," and he'd take them to the bedroom.
okay, so this is the room that Snake Person is, and
Yeah.
when you guys go in there, immediately when the other ones are coming, like when you first walking in, because like you said, you lead it in first, the person's still curled up on the ground. Clearly, they're not sleeping. You can tell, even though they're very still. You're a snake person too. You can tell that they're not sleeping. But as soon as the first one starts to step through the doorway, he must have smelt them or saw them or heard a different noise, the scrape of a boot or something. And immediately he's just like, jumps up.
And I would say Ophios is literally ready with his hand on his hilt. Very obvious to Messi, or to Yondis and Rena behind him. Just prepared in case there's an issue.
Okay. And who did you say that to?
He wouldn't say it. He would clearly have shown it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That
Gotcha.
his hand is there next to where his blades are.
Okay, gotcha. And so as soon as this thing, and again, they're from the waist up a perfectly normal person. So when they speak, like make snake noises, it's funny. It's the human tongue. Though it's a much more practiced snaky noise thing than say perhaps any of the three of us could do. Tyler's been trying though. But the lower body is this like really long snake tail that allows him to like rise up big, and, So he like rises up tall and like hovers over where the three of you are, and once again gets in this like imposing form. And even though you had just warned him that you had non-snakes with him, and he was more or less kind of like stay out of my way, you can see it's not that he forgot that. Just having them there, their presence there, looking at him is such an affront. He doesn't even care about the conversation that happened prior, and so he's looking. I just have to say that fucking Josh sent a picture on Discord, and now I'm seeing my own shadow in this room, and it keeps freaking me. So if you keep seeing me like look around, I'm freaked out because of a stupid picture that Josh sent to me on Discord last night. It's got me tweaking out, man. God.
You want to share it?
Paranoid.
Ophios will simply look at him and be like, and just kind of sigh, like expecting him to have gone back to bed because this is literally his resting time for when he has to work, and he's just annoyed.
Did he say anything to us, or did he just like growl?
He rises up and hissing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's seen how you guys react.
Just
Which Ophios isn't going to say anything to you guys. He just kind of looks at him and rolls his eyes and walks past him.
I'll just follow because you said to stay out of his way, but I don't want to be like pulling out my weapon and have him thinking that we're gonna fight him.
Oh, you wouldn't want to fight him. He's a strong dude.
It's funny because your weapon is already out because it's a big axe you have to carry, but you're obviously not holding it in like an offensive way. So
Yeah.
despite this display of like masculinity from him to you, you want to like move past him to just kind of like just come and sleep in here. Now, when you do this kind of, do you not submissively? I don't mean to insinuate that, but do you just kind of ignore him like straight up and tuck to the hand, or do you like counter intimidate him?
Oh, me
No, him.
or
Tyler.
him?
Tyler.
Oh, okay. I was like, who?
Ophios literally, he wouldn't counter intimidate because he already won that earlier.
Yep. Okay.
So he would just kind of roll his eyes at him like you're nothing.
Yeah. So because of the fact that you already won your previous engagement, you're not going to give him the honor of having a secondary one. I'm already better than you.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
So he literally walked by, and you could see just by the way he's moving, his motions. These are the more subtle things that they would probably notice, the little movements here and there, the way his body's moving. You were very much getting the impression that he's calculating whether or not he wants to attack or strike. Roll me an insight check. So while he is definitely honestly calculating whether or not he's willing to attack or strike, you can see that he's probably wise enough to realize he would be outmatched 3-1. You do not have his back. It would not be a 2-2 or even a 2-1 as you step back and out of the way, right? You can see he's smart enough to realize that, and so even though he wants to act, he really can't. But you also get the impression, perhaps that the two of them being alone with him is probably not a good idea.
Okay.
So you both just walk past him? You're not going to say anything?
Ophios just walked past him. Yeah. Ophios gave him a look as he walked past him, like this. You're not, no.
How big is he? Like, is
he's
he's a big guy?
Yeah, he's a beefy dude. He's definitely a strength-based guy. So, I mean,
Like,
Rena might not be able to win an arm wrestling match against him. Rena, what are you, 16?
Yes.
Yeah, she might not be able to win an arm wrestling match against him.
And what's his size? Is he just medium or is he large?
So it's funny how it works. It's what in the old days you would call large long as opposed to large tall. But so more or less what it is he's gonna act as like a medium-sized creature for the sake of like rules and mechanics, but realistically, because of his tail, he's about almost 15 feet long.
Okay. What is this?
Yeah. So visibly he's large, but mechanically he's considered medium.
Did you not see the picture that Josh sent me in Discord?
No.
Oh, so Josh is. I'll direct everybody really quickly. I'll pull from the game
I
for
can't
this.
do it. If you're skittish from it, I can't look at it.
It's just because of a childhood thing. Where was it?
Because I think I saw that stream.
Yeah, so if you go to the Serenity, yeah,
okay.
So January 24th, I sent a picture, and Josh sent the picture back. And I didn't realize it until somebody else made a comment, and it freaked me out. Yeah, but like last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fucking Josh. Moving
Yeah,
on.
I see. Yeah.
All right, moving on. So you guys go in there and decide to just we're tired. We're exhausted. I think one of you guys actually has levels of exhaustion. You're going to lie down and sleep. So you do so. Does anybody look to keep watch, or do you feel Tyler safe enough that you don't think you need to?
Given that insight check, Ophios would kind of just make sure he is the one. Like, he would have to get past him to get towards them.
Okay.
He would just position his sleeping area to where he would be there, and he'd probably stay awake a little bit longer, but he'd probably end up just sleeping.
Okay, cool. So we'll do exactly like you just described. Make that happen for you. And make sure this is good over here. Yeah. So make that happen for you, and you guys just end up sleeping. Nothing happens overnight. You get a full night's rest. Actually, it's one of those things where because the place is so warm, I mean, you're on stone. We have bedrolls or whatever, but you're on stone. But the place is so warm, so like cozy compared to how cold it's been coming out of winter. The fact that you've been in these other homes that sure they might have like a fireplace or something like that in them, but let's be serious. Even a warm, cozy fireplace home or inn or whatever still has drafts coming through. This place is so warm through and through. If there's any small breeze, it's just this like soothing, cooling breeze to cool you down from how friggin' warm you are. All of you end up oversleeping. Like, not like, oh my God, it's been 3 days. But all you end up sleeping, instead of like your typical maybe 6, 8, 9 hours, whatever it is that your characters do, it ends up being like a 9, 10, 11 hour rest. Where each of you, as you wake up, depending on what order it is, it's one of those like, oh my God, what time is it? Like, oh, I slept a long time. And you end up feeling like groggy at first when you first wake, but then your day kind of progresses where you feel like so well rested. You feel like just warm to the bone. Like after getting out of a really long, really hot shower, how it doesn't matter how cold it is in the house, you just feel warm on the inside. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the feeling that you're getting as you wake. When you guys wake, he's not there.
Yeah. If Ophios woke up first, he would actually try and see if he could find him, track him in some way. Obviously, trying to find him is going to be difficult, but...
I mean, like out in the city?
No, literally if he's inside these quarters.
Oh, he's not in here.
Okay. Cool. That means he probably is out doing his job, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're all employed. That's good.
All right, whatever you say. So Ophios would just get up and just kind of wait for them to get up. Maybe check supplies here and there, but really just making sure that he's not going to end up coming back and that we're not going to be in his way if we just leave.
Okay. So I mean, you don't know when he will come back. You don't know his routine. Do you want to just leave then? You're not going to do anything else inside the cave?
Ophios would probably search through the supplies and stuff.
Sure. Okay, that's cool. Actually, so we can even say that Ophios wakes up first. You know what I mean? I honestly, real life, don't know how much snakes sleep. Like, if you're telling me like, oh, it's a cat character, like you're playing a Cathar, or you're playing like whatever the cat characters are in D&D. I forget the race's name. The running fast, whatever they're called. I don't like playing them. I can totally be like, oh, my character sleeps a lot, like a real lot. It's actually a lazy character. That makes sense. But snakes, I don't know.
I've had 2 pet snakes. They sleep, but they're like if something touches them or if there's any vibration around them, it'll wake them up. That's considered abnormal. I would say they're kind of like light sleepers. Like if something is there, it'll wake them up, especially if they're hungry. Because it's like they'll be resting, and something will move in and be like food.
So we could even say that's what woke you up. Is literally, I'm hungry. So whatever, you end up going and checking the supplies, and they wake up to find that neither of the snake people are in the room. So we'll get to them doing an RP thing in a second. You go in the other room, and you can roll me an investigation as you're kind of like searching throughout there. I'm actually going to give you advantage because you know the structure of your own people's setups and whatnot.
Okay. 13.
Good thing you got advantage. So you find inside there, like preserved food. Even though as a snake person, you like fresh food.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of preserved foods that are in there that are good for like saving up for like rough times, or if you get hungry but you can't go above because that guy clearly doesn't blend in very easily,
Right.
and he doesn't have the ability to transform. Not everybody does.
Also, because he's not a snakehead, it makes sense that there's preserved food because it's different tastes based on the different form.
Yep, all these fun factors. So you find like a lot of preserved foods and whatnot inside there, as well as like basic supplies for like just kind of like maintaining the area down here, cleanliness, blah 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 blah. You also do find some basic weaponry down here, but I mean we're talking very basic stuff. So training supplies like wooden weapons and stuff like that for like hatchlings, people that are only like a couple days or a couple weeks old. But very quickly after being a hatchling, you actually get start getting trained in utilizing weapons that are bladed. Because if you die during training, you were weak and you needed to die anyways. So you find also the basic training weapons that you see, but nothing that like stands out as being magical or anything like that for those things. Your investigation kind of sucked, finding all that stuff, but your detect magic actually did come across something that catches your eye. Looking over at a little cache that they have to the side, like a little crate, you open it up, and you can actually see that they have several potions and whatnot in here. Now, maybe this isn't something that you need to take from because you already have your own huge stockade of potions, but there's definitely potions here for your peoples to be able to use as needed for this reason or that.
In fact, looking at that, I want to figure out what potions there are to see if there's something lacking that could be of use to take actually from my haversack and add to the supply.
Roll me an Arcana check. You have a hard time identifying the potions. Honestly, what it is you were never trained in your snake-like apothecary style. That's not what your training was. Your training was to use you were one of the few that was born with the ability to utilize the magics, so long as, of course, you had a crystal from where. But you were born with that ability, so you never really got that other training, unfortunately. You can't identify. And they're not labeled. They're not meant to be, because it's not meant to be easy for somebody breaking in here.
Right.
Do me a favor. Roll me an intelligence check, but with advantage.
Ooh, -1. Let's see what I get. All right.
Good thing you got advantage, man.
Yeah.
You also remember that your people are not only aggressive in what their task is, to hunt down and destroy all lopers. That is literally what you're born, bred, and created for, right?
Yep.
Well, created,
At least,
but
at least my iteration of
correct.
our race. Yeah.
Correct. But they're not just like aggressive on the attack. They're also aggressive on the defenses too. And so mixed in with these potions here, very likely there are poisons. Poisons that your race would probably have a degree of resilience against or resistance to. Probably not immunity though. But if somebody else would be like, oh, potions, glug, 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 very likely they would be killing themselves. So you also know that you probably just don't, let me just take some.
Yeah. So he would probably just kind of look in there, and since he couldn't identify it, seal it up. Maybe talking about it later, but mostly he wasn't looking to take, but more to add. Just because there's one person in the safe haven and having something extra there would be more of a supportive thing, and sort of a traditional thing that if you're staying at a different Slakona Raider, Slakona Slayer safe house, you generally add, whereas the next one you could take.
Yep.
It's about balancing it out.
So you're geocaching. I gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you want to put in there?
Let me see what I have. It would probably be. None of us are charisma characters, so he'd probably put the Eagle's Splendor in there. Wait, never mind. I'm a charisma character. Never mind. That's not going in there. He would put one of the Endure elements in there.
Okay.
And the basic Shield of Faith.
Okay. Rena, on the other hand, is like sharpening her axe, realizing you're doing this. I will remember.
I'll remember this.
Back to Rena. While he's kind of like awake because he woke up before you guys, he's searching through the other room. He's doing blah 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 blah. You guys wake up. I don't really care who wakes up first. You know, one of you guys wakes up, and within a minute or so, the noise of the first person kind of like waking up and doing like the stretch is like, oh my god, I am achy. Like, you never know, I don't know, if moving a house or some other degree of like heavy work, but not like a workout, which might be routine. I mean, like something that's non-routine work. 2 days later, you're like, that's how you guys are feeling kind of like as you're first waking up. The noise of the one wakes up the other one. And then you guys kind of realize you're by yourselves in this snake place. Almost feel like you might be dinner. You know you're not because you trust Ophios, right?
Oh no. Yeah. So when Yondis wakes up, he's been sweating all night because it was hot, and he didn't drink much water yesterday. He kind of decided to substitute all his water with wine. So he's very dehydrated, and frankly, this place gives him the heebie-jeebies. So he's gonna want to try to get out of here, and he's gonna let Rena know. Hey Rena, how about we go into town right now and meet up with Ophios whenever he wants us to?
I mean, honestly, I don't want to risk running into that other snake guy again. So maybe we should try to find him first? Not the snake guy, I mean Ophios.
Oh, well, we could, or, we know where the door is. We could just, pop back up.
Just dip. Why were we staying here again?
I really didn't want to.
We were staying here because it was
free.
No, it had to do with
free.
it being an actual safe, unlooked at place. Considering this town is controlled by Peredhel.
Everything's controlled by Peredhel.
Weirdest Airbnb ever.
And it was because Ophios kind of figured there would be a snake post here, and he hasn't seen his people in a long time, and those are resources for him to be able to use to help us.
Oh, you're homesick?
That's he would have that. I think that was talked about last time. So,
all right, I'll say, look, if we run into Ophios on the way out, we'll tell him what we're doing. But
we'll let him know. But if we don't, we should probably just keep going.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I do kind of want to find somewhere to, like, I don't know, get new clothes, take a bath, like you said. I am still covered in,
Rena, I didn't know you
blood.
to be one who enjoyed the finer things.
Well, I indulge occasionally where I can.
Since when?
It's been a while.
We'll talk
Okay.
about it on the surface. Yeah, let's.
All right, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, and we'll make our way up.
At first, he playfully says, I didn't know you'd be one to indulge. And she's like, I do occasionally. He's like, since when, you smelly mother? And at first, it was playful, and then it was an insult.
Well, from
And
the
then he was like, no,
backstory,
but for real.
you know what I'm saying?
So,
He's like, it's been a while. Just saying.
yeah, I know. You guys, so you guys make your way out of that little cave entrance there. Roll me perception checks. Normal.
Yes, sir.
On it.
Who am I, Yondis? Yes, I should change my name in chat to Yondis.
I was super delayed.
that was a good
really?
roll, though.
That was good for us.
Yes. It was like, I clicked it and then nothing happened. Then it was like, whoop.
That's right. We got it before you did. So,
Oh, cool.
Yondis, honestly, he comes out, and Yondis probably a little nervous because even though he trusts Ophios, if Ophios is a friendly one of his race, moving on. Rena, You come out, and immediately as you come out of this entrance, which is the one to the right, you see like kind of again, there's 3 doors. So when you first came down the hallway, you were the ones to the left. When you first come out, you know that if you turn to your right, that's the hallway that leads back. You know there's a doorway to your left where you hear like a little bit of rummaging or whatnot happening inside this room. It's faint, but you hear it down deep inside the room. You don't know what it is. But, you know, you're of course intending on ignoring that and going down the hallway that you came from. But you also know that the hallway that's across from you, the one that would have been to the right when you first walked in, that seems to be the source of where all this heat is coming from. I don't know if that was something that you were interested in investigating yourself, or if you're like, no, I'm good, let's just leave.
I think
you would also.
God damn it, Anna! I forgot. God damn it.
The rubbles of the vibration of the river. Remember, Scott?
Oh, you also feel the vibrations of the. Yeah. Yes.
Which you would have felt on the way in.
Yeah. Maybe not Ophios. He's usually distracted.
Oh, you mean Yondis?
She'll turn to look and then just say, Yadis, I know we're like trying to get out of here, but do you want to check out what's down this other hallway? It seems to be the source of like where the heat's coming. I'm kind of curious, not gonna lie.
Rena, we're in a cave with giant snake people, and you want to investigate.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we doing here? There must be some reason, right? Otherwise, would he bring us here?
I mean, if we stay here again tonight, and that's a big if, but if we do, we can check it out then when he's, the tour guide's around. You know what I'm saying? But right
All right.
now,
All right, fair. Let's
I'm kind
get
of
out of
thirsty. And I want to pick up some equipment.
All
So-
right, let's go.
You guys do your deuces and you start heading out. Ophios, just to try not to have to split the party if I don't have to, roll me a perception check as you come out of the. I should say a stealth, survival check as you come out of your little hole.
Survival?
Please. I have ice cream, Steve. I just ate M&Ms, and I also have baklava.
Quick reroll when he's not looking.
So yeah. I feel if I have ice cream too, I might just die.
Oh wow, 15.
So with your 5, when you come out of the cave, you come out and you go check it out, and you're like, where the hell are they? Where the hell did they go? And so obviously, like, quick look around the 3 different rooms, you would see they're not there. They probably left, and you go searching after them. It's just gonna take a little bit of time for you to catch up to them, unfortunately. But of course, you will catch up to them.
Those idiots. Hopefully, that man doesn't find them without me.
So when you when you make your way out of the cave entrance, back to that like hidden door underneath the stairwell, as you go to that like little doorway area, do you guys just like lift it up and walk out?
I swear.
I'm gonna peek out very carefully and see
Yeah.
if there's a lot of people around.
Roll me a stealth and a perception.
Hey, I'm good at one of those. Normal?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Wow, I kind of mixed those up.
Hey, you get confused easily. I don't blame you. So you
Flip those. Well, whatever.
So you go pushing the door up, and one of the things that you notice as you push the door up slowly is that, there's people out there in this front area. You don't know if they're workers or purchasers. You don't know who they are, but there's definitely people walking by in the front. One's looking this way, and like your stealth was not very good, but your perception was so high, you noticed somebody like looking in that direction prior to them noticing the door. And you quickly like lowered it back down so you didn't necessarily get caught. And that's where you're currently sitting at.
Rena, there's a lot of people out there.
What do we do?
Do you know any other ways out?
I mean, I offered to look the other direction, but no.
But that way's scary.
I have an axe. What are they gonna do?
Kill us? Alright, let me see if, real quick. No, I can't. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll Try it your way.
So they go walking back in your direction there, Tyler. So as you're like, these idiots, you grab up your stuff and you start going towards them. You make your way about a third of the way down the tunnel when they made their other 2/3 all the way back to where you are, and you guys are able to meet each other inside the tunnel.
Oh, there he is.
What's with tries to leaves without Smees?
You weren't here when we were here. You kind of left without us, so...
You were asleep. I didn't want to disturb you, and I wanted to make sure my friends weren't snooping around.
You're just gonna leave us in the snake cave with the snakes.
I was still in the caves, you idiots.
Well, I didn't know that, alright? Now, do you know a way out?
Yes.
It's not this way?
You're coming from it, but we have to wait.
Until when? How long? I don't like
Until
this.
it's not busy hours.
So night. We have to wait until night.
She's like, okay, thanks.
All right, fine. Mm-hmm.
So where do you guys head back to? Or do you just want to go back into the sleeping room, maybe get some more naps, stretch out, exercise a little bit, sleep some more, and just like flash forward time to the evening?
So, Ophius, what's up with that, what's up with the other door? One that's got all the heat behind it. That
Honestly, if we walked back to where we chose the doors, would this conversation be before that? Would you guys have asked before that, or would we go into sleeping quarters first?
Probably before
Ophios
that.
would literally just would plan on bringing you back to the sleeping quarters.
I would say that while we were walking back.
I'm not keen on sharing too much information, but that also is foreign to me.
So why don't we check it out together?
He's already seen it, but he doesn't know what it is.
Did you
What else
have
is
to
in
explain that to your doctor sometime? Like, I know I've already seen it, but I have
No.
no idea what that is.
No, Scott. The last time I checked in that room, it was just the salamander. What else was in that room? It was just more.
There was also like some stuff on the ground, almost looked like a nest in front of the thing. And then there was like a table off to the side that had a couple of like items on it, but you didn't even look at them.
But it wasn't a nest of my people. It was a nest of something else. It was foreign.
Yeah, but you didn't get a close enough look. You didn't investigate, so on and so forth.
Probably the other guy staying in the cave.
That was for my purposes. Ophius would say, that's another place. The place where the heat comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Just magics
Like-
of some kinds. Or wait, was it magical, Scott?
Yeah, yes, it was giving off auras, yeah.
So, just
Oh.
magics. Keeps the place warm. Toasties.
I call it a space heater. It's sitting right here.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing it if we got hours to kill.
I mean, these two
Probably
rooms,
is not
and that
best.
can't be the only thing back here, right?
It's probably not best we go exploring.
Hiding something?
I was pulling strings enough to get you in here.
Against my complaining, yeah.
It was the safest choice.
How is a hotel, how is an inn more dangerous than a snake cave where they want to eat me?
This place is a place of crimes, place of people's of interest.
How safe? Wow.
Ones that might be prying eyes, look-seens for us, given what happens at the last towns, Yondis.
Did I burn
mean,
that
we-
one down?
We did live through the night. So technically, he's not wrong.
I mean, we lived through every night so far. For a couple. There's a couple. Debatable. But we'll play your way.
All right,
back
so
to bed.
you lull Tyler to sleep and then go in. So do you guys flash forward to the evening?
Guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 minutes of playing, and so far it's you woke up and then sat there.
Man, I love D&D.
All right, so it's the evening, and you guys are finally coming out of your little cave, making your way out. But the thing is, like, because of the fact that it's evening, the creature came back in. You know, it's making its way down. You know, the upstairs
You know what?
definitely closed.
Yandis is so bored that when he hears the creature come back in, he'd probably go introduce himself to it.
So when you hear noise out in the hallway area, like outside of the room that Tyler's having you kind of like sit in together, you're just like, and you get up and start walking out that way.
Yeah, kind of literally, yeah.
Okay, obviously
Ophios
everybody
would
noticed
stop
that.
him. If
How
he was
so?
ready, Ophios would try to stop him.
Stop
I'm
him
just
how?
gonna roll a strength check.
Oh, you just grab him?
Yeah.
Why? The heck?
It wouldn't be like holding him back, like really holding him back, but he's reaching out to grab his arm or something like that to say no.
Go away.
Is that a strength check or a dex check or what?
Athletics.
Athletics? All right.
Hey, stop. Stop. He doesn't do this any other time of the day.
All right. What's the opposed roll?
I mean, that's just you. I mean, because this is just thematic. It's only if he wants to fight to pull away that he has to roll back.
I'd
So-
turn around if you grab me, yeah.
Prob's best if you don't approach.
You sure?
Do you value your lives?
Not as much as I used to.
Ophios would just stand up, waiting for him to enter, making sure he's out of the way of where he was sleeping before.
He was in the room with us? Last night?
Before
I
you
don't-
guys got there.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I guess I'll just
What
sit
was the
back
guy's
down.
name again? I think he told me and I forgot.
I don't think he told you. No, actually.
All right, cool. That's fair.
Okay. So eventually you wait till he kind of like settles in or whatever. You know, he sees you. And you guys make your way past him and finally out of the cave. Yay, the great beyond. And we finally get out there. You can get out. You go out the door and the sun's more or less setting. It's you've been in here for about 24 hours. You can imagine pretty much all the businesses are closing for the evening with the exception of taverns and inns. Back to where you started. But well rested. And smellier.
Darn it, this was a waste.
Say, the twilight.
I think we should find an inn.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bath.
You're speaking my language now.
Two
Let's
against
go.
one. Here we go. You coming, Ophios? I don't want to leave you behind.
He's just shaking his head like took a risks doing this, and this is what I get in returns. Not
Hey,
even
tell
saying
you
it
what.
like out loud.
Tell you what, buddy. I'll buy you a beer. How about that? Will it make you feel better?
So you guys get over the bridges. I imagine you go over the primary bridge, the really thick one there that's like so tall that it doesn't move or anything like that.
What's it made out of?
Stone.
Cobblestone? Or is it just one giant slab?
Do you know what cobblestone is?
Is it limestone?
I mean, cobblestone is like stone cobbled together with mortar. That wouldn't be like. It wouldn't be like the most. Like cobblestone is like not very structurally sound for the sake of like a bridge. So it's like stone. Like big stones. Not like stones.
Okay.
Okay. So stone. And you guys make your way over the bridge and to the other side. Now, we had already described this side of the bridge, warehouse district. Yay! The other side of the bridge, much like the side the first district you come through, is a docks. So it's always funny because the docks district is kind of on both sides of the bridge. But the other side is, you can clearly tell as you're kind of like making your way through it, there's, okay, well, this is like where the market would be, right off of the docks. Unfortunately, most of the shops are shut down. If you want to, you might be able to find a shop open in time to be that, if anybody here's ever worked retail, they're going to be those people. Is this something you want to do? Do you want to be those medieval people? Why are you closing your gates early? It says 9 o'clock. I want to talk to your manager.
They are the manager.
Why do you want to go to a shop in the first place? Didn't we have some other reason we needed to come?
No, they're fine. So she wants to go check out a shop for other reasons afterwards. But so you guys see the mercantile district, but then beyond there, you can actually see that this town, because it used to having so much money here, it literally has a district where there's like the wealthier homes are, like nicer homes. The roads are much nicer, so on and so forth. There's actually a theater that's there, like not quite a whole Orpheum or whatever, but like a theater that's set up there that would have had like bards put on shows, plays, so on and so forth. But even that district, nicer roads that aren't as well kept. You know what I mean? A theater that looks like it hasn't been opened in a long time. As a matter of fact, you're seeing movement inside the building in the darkness. You think there's some squatters. Kind of like making your way through there. And as you go through the different like districts or whatever in town, as you're trying to find like a good tavern or whatever to go into, you very much get the impression this town feels very run down. Also, roll me your choice, perception or insight. Each of you. No advantages or anything.
What are you gonna roll, Rena?
Perception.
Day and a half old cold coffee.
Well,
Yes,
my
please.
insight sucked.
So insight was garbage, perceptions were okay. So one of the things that you guys notice as you're walking along is that there's a lot of activity at night. Not like, oh, it's nightlife. Or like businesses open or whatever. There's certainly business that's open, but it's not meant to be out in the open. You get the impression very quickly that somebody really wants to talk to you.
Your music somehow. There's no music around.
There is a bar!
I think Messi found his instrument. It's calling to him.
Just wait,
I thought
'cause
you
I might
were
get
a
it
rogue.
today. We'll see.
So
Never
anyways,
get into town when it's open.
you literally just went by a bard place. So you
Oh.
you guys went to my brain just shut down for a second, sorry. You guys as you're walking through, you can see that clearly there's some like back alley conversations, deals, stuff like this going on. I think I described this beforehand in the warehouse district, that you actually see that this does not feel safe here. It does not feel safe at all. As a matter of fact, with your perception checks there, you also notice that these people that don't feel safe, sometimes you feel like we should probably not go down this alleyway. Yeah, we can handle ourselves, but best not we make a scene when we first walk into this town with... That just does not look like a safe place to be in. Let's avoid that. But lastly, I'm saying that these dealings and whatnot aren't meant to be in the open. They're a lot more in the open here than you probably have ever seen in any other town or city or whatever before. This is pretty egregious. How you're like literally walking by like an open alleyway and there's definitely like some sort of drug being sold to another person. They don't care that you're watching.
One I
them.
recognize, or
You actually, you have a high enough perception check. I would allow you to roll me a intelligence check.
oh, awesome. What about history? Because I have a history with this kind of thing.
No.
A 7.
Uh,
Top that.
Unless, chat, do you think that there is a different skill that would be better for identifying drugs from afar? Perhaps a nature check? Please, tell me now in chat. In the meanwhile, you look over, and honestly, you didn't get a good enough view so quickly in the alleyway, so you did not get, unfortunately, the ability to see what it was. Sorry. I imagine from here you guys want to go find, as you were saying beforehand, a tavern or an inn. Easily. There's actually a bunch of taverns here. As a matter of fact, it's probably the only business that's kind of booming. Job security, restaurant industry. So you can find pretty much any tavern you'd like. What district would you want to try to go and grab one in?
One near a really nice inn with a bath.
So you want to stick to like the wealthier district, like okay,
For
this
sure.
is
Yeah, me. Yeah.
this is where like a wealthy family would put up their relatives if they didn't necessarily have enough space inside their home, or because during like a wedding or whatever the case may be, right? This is like a nice like a Ritz, you know.
I have an important question for the party. Did you guys grab your horses?
Sure.
I thought we were gonna come back there at some point, but maybe we did.
That was just an honest question of whether we were walking with horses or not, because I would think that would make you a target.
Walking around with war horses.
Well, I imagine you guys left your war horses inside the
warehouse.
yeah, where it was that you had set them up before. Yeah.
Do they need to be cared for at all? Like, do we have
They,
to...
they will need to be stabled, but you can handle that tomorrow.
Okay.
So you guys are able to go find, again, a tavern over in the nicer district. So you walk into this tavern, one of the first impressions that you get is this tavern was very well maintained and decorated. Like, there's wallpaper in here. Wallpaper. Do you have any idea how friggin' expensive wallpaper is? They have wallpaper up on the walls that are literally has almost like a golden designs in them that might actually have been made of real gold. The wallpaper is peeling off in some areas because it hasn't been maintained, so it's like curling. In other areas, you think somebody probably tried to rip it off to see if the gold is real to sell it before they probably got stopped for whatever or got away with it. The bar itself is made of like one of the nicest bars you've ever seen, made of the finest of wood. Luckily, it's wood, so it maintains itself pretty well. You know what I mean? It's actually in good condition. But the chairs are beat up, and some of them are wobbly or squeaky. The tables have a lot of like knocks in them or whatever. And the crowd in here, they're very much like you. People that want to be in a fancy place, but probably don't belong there.
Hey.
Yeah, Yondis. It's not
Hey.
yours kinds of peoples.
You know,
Our kinds of peoples. Gesturing the arena, just like laughing.
It's like when new money goes into an old money neighborhood. It's like, you don't really belong. So you guys kind of go in there, and there's others amongst you that seem to fit in. And then there are clearly a couple, let's say like 10, 15% of the people in here. And there's a good number of them because it's a good number of people that clearly are that old money kind of, you know, I swear, Karen, this place has certainly gone downhill. You know,
My worst enemy.
She's a target.
Targaryen? What? No. So,
A target.
Karen Targaryen.
Karen the Loper.
Take her down. I just got a feeling, Opie. I attack her with an axe.
Would you find?
Got a feeling.
Do you not like Karen? By golly, Ashley, can you believe this place?
What's better?
Oh, man.
Yeah. All right, there you
Ashley's
go.
all right.
Yeah, Ashley's okay.
My goodness, Britney Spears.
All right, moving on. So you guys sit down, and of course you order. Now it's funny because they try to operate like they still were a fancy place, but they literally come over with like menus for you to order from. Two of you have never been in a tavern ever in your life that has had menus brought over to you. Ophios, Yondas, you grew up with this. So they come over, they present menus to you. Again, they're old, they're curled, they're kind of greasy to the touch, so on and so forth. But hey, it's menus. You look at it, holy shit, the prices. I mean, it's a nice place, but the fact that the place has gone downhill, you imagine they're jacking up the price to try to make any money they can from somebody who's willing to spend it.
Ophios would probably just kind of flip it over and slide it away from him.
Not hungry?
Not for this price. I have plenties of foods. And he reaches into his backpack and starts eating a ration.
So when the waiter comes over and it's like, "Are you ready to?" What is that?
No, that's just my rat I found outside.
Sir, we do not allow outside food here.
Yeah, Ophius, why don't you put that away?
He quickly just eats it faster.
In one bite, unhinges his jaw.
Again, from somebody from the restaurant industry. Yeah, I'm sorry, you can't bring in outside like Mountain Dew. Oh, sorry, hold on. Glug, 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 glug.
Yep,
Take my trash.
yep, that's what he's doing.
Cover napkin.
While he's doing that, I'll turn to the waiter or the waitress and I'll say, "Yeah, just a few more minutes. We're almost ready."
They nod and say, "So not the vintage then," and they walk away.
Way to go, Ophios. And we can't get the vintage.
The cat's trying to get in the room, but I got gates up.
You just flip off your cat.
I mean,
Are you okay, dude?
meow. I love you, kitty. Meow, meow.
Just wait till she jumps over it.
Or just breaks it down.
Oh, meow. Did you just meow at me?
She's saying, "Hey,
she
I'm
went-
coming in."
Meow.
Can't stop
Oh.
me.
Oh.
So sad.
And since
Anyway,
I
I'll
got daddy's dice from Sinatra Girl, so I'm going to assume that Sinatra Girl approves of my treatment of the cat. Thank you.
Poor
I'll
kitty.
just-
Here's some daddy dice.
I'll just look at the menu and try to figure out whatever the cheapest. What's the cheapest thing on there?
Oh, you always get the second
30
cheapest.
gold.
Rita's
Second
character's let's go to a nice place. I'll get the cheeseburger.
I'll get
Well,
the
he
chicken
mentioned
finger.
price, so I was like, okay, well.
Yeah,
It's a
so how much for all?
$30. It's a 30 gold burger.
I was like, this place is $19.50 for a cheeseburger, and they charge for pickles. Did we know this before we got here?
I'll have a water.
Steak water. And
Oh,
I
bread.
mean, Ophios is eating a ration, just like, I don't give a shit.
Well, Ophios, I do owe you a beer, so let's see. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, by the way, when I drink, it's top shelves.
I don't think there's any other option.
No, it's the most expensive one. He points to the menu you're having, and he's literally pointing at the most expensive
What's the
drink
most
on
expensive
there.
beer?
Well, pushing past this because obviously it's a bit of funny or whatever. But so you guys obviously it's this fun scenario where Yondis is like trying to teach them some degree of class, but he doesn't really have that much himself. He was just kind of trained in it.
It's been a while.
And it's also been a while. Rena, who almost likes the idea of it. Let's be serious. I mean, being that farm girl or Smithy's daughter or whatever it is, growing up, it's always been like, oh, it'd be nice to be born with a silver spoon. But also the mentality of, fuck the silver spoon, man. I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna kill them because they're keeping me down, man. But I wouldn't mind like some nice food. And Ophios is just like that guy that's like wearing like all black, trench coat with the black clothes and the chains hanging from his pants, like
With a cheeseburger.
Mom
in
and
his inner
Dad made me
pocket.
come here. Yeah.
Also, he's an
with
alien.
a cheeseburger in his inner pocket that he's like eating.
Brought his own burrito from
Yeah.
Chipotle.
Oh.
So-
They're gonna talk shit on Taco Bell. I was about to get upset.
Yeah, Taco Bell's gross.
Ophios is finally gonna look at Yondis and say, "Why is this place? Why is expensives?"
I don't know, Ophios. Just sometimes, we slept in your snake cave, and maybe I want, some of my.
You want your spoiled lives, your privilege, get your own ways.
So I'm not allowed to miss
Lives.
home either. Is that what's going on here?
I'm just munching on a breadstick or something.
Mine's wasn't
Watching.
about missing homes. It was missing my peoples. Others that I can trust.
Well, there's a lot less of you than there are us. Just a fact. So your peoples is like my family, right? Same size. Same likelihood of running into them.
I knows nothings of families, only's my kinds.
What about you,
is
Rita?
families you speak of?
Oh, don't bring me into this.
I mean, you must miss home sometimes too, right? I mean, you got the old pop somewhere working on an
We
anvil.
literally were at her homes for days. Do you
Right.
not remember
Yeah,
this,
we burnt
Yondis?
it down. I remember.
No.
I was also kind of a slave there for a while, so. Also,
Oh,
my
wait.
parents are dead, so.
Yes, way to bring that backs up, you self-centered
All right, well, let's
dicks.
backtrack. Let's talk about something else.
She won't. She's being playful about it. She's not like serious.
That's literally how Ophios is being too. Like we're literally asking you, tell us about you.
Yeah.
Well, ask it then, you instead of making
He
fun
did!
of you, prick.
He's trying
I'll
to
just
not
say-
be like,
okay.
hey, who's
I'll
ours
just say-
yous?
I think what Ophios is trying to say is, like, what's your story?
Yeah, why's you steals when you had everything's growing ups?
Yeah, it's like, it's like why hunt when you can just go to the store, right?
Nose.
No.
Yeah. No, it's kind of the same thing.
Nose.
It's like just because you have it doesn't mean you earned it, right?
Oh, privileged boys wants to earn stuffs.
You don't
He's toying with you. He's trying to get you to just freaking open up.
Okay,
He's waiting for you to break.
was I the firstborn of a successful business family? Yes. Did we live in a nice place? Yes. Did I have a loving mother and father that I left at home? Yes, I did. I do. And I don't write to them enough. And
Oh, little boy misses his parents.
I'll just hit it. I'll hit
Oh.
Ophios like, dude, shut up.
at least I have parents.
Talking.
That was for Ophia, sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, I miss home sometimes.
What was home like for you? Is it just like why did you choose to, I don't know, leave?
If I tell you the story, you'd probably not be very surprised. I had a grandfather left an heirloom in the family and was passed down from generation to generation.
Ophios is literally leaning against his hand, rolling his eyes like, all right, when are we going to get past this rich stuff and you're actually going to talk about who you are?
I got my hands on it, and I didn't have it for very long because I was robbed by my friends who brought me into the Thieves Guild, and they're somewhere in Vala.
What was this heirloom?
I don't really know. Dad told me it was priceless and it was magical.
Anything that you've seen before? Magic wise, I mean?
No, I mean my parents we ran a business with, we would sell magic items and distribute them. So I saw magic stuff my whole life, but usually they do something. This thing, they never told me what it did, and they told me a whole story about how my grandma gave it to my grandfather when they got married, and I lost it. And that was probably the last thing I could admit to my parents before I needed to leave. So yeah.
Did they know you were leaving?
Kind of. I mean, I told them before I left, but I don't think they wanted to talk to me.
Oh, little boy doesn't have love in his life. Oh. I thought you had loving parents there, Yandis. What is this nonsense? Tell us about you. Tell us why you do what you do. This
Sure,
is
yeah.
just facts. This is just things that happen to
you're
you.
right.
Why are you this way? Why are you with us? Why do you act the way you did on that boat backstairs, other than privilege? Ophios kind of has a bite in that, kind of glaring at you like, why do you do what you do?
First of all, Ophios,
And how did you end up in Adder's Fields?
first of all, I appreciate the trust, really. Glad to think we're on the same team. Yeah, so
I trusted you enough to send yous in there instead of doing it myself. What more do you want from me?
well, I mean, I've been in the Thieves Guild a long time. Just like doing stuff. I don't know, man. Why don't we order something and talk later?
Do you know what you're gonna get? Just
Waiter!
changing the subject.
Later.
And we can go from there. Again,
Yeah.
we already know how things are going to play out. More or less, you guys don't exactly fit in. You try, but then you come to realize, honestly, nobody here really fits in. And the only reason why this waiter gives you any degree of attitude is because they're one of the older wait staff that was here from before things changed. They've been around for like a long time, so on and so forth. They're a boomer. So, so you are, you pay way too much money for your food. How much money you pay is all dependent on exactly how extravagant you wanted it to be. I assume you wanted it to not go extravagant. You probably want to go wealthy. Wealthy goes for about 10 gold pieces for the evening. 10 gold pieces will cover like the nice room that you have tonight, as well as like really good food. If you're like, no, we're going bala tonight, it's 100. Sorry, then it's not just 10. Sorry, I forgot tax because of the situation. 15 gold. If you want to go bala, it's 150 gold for just this one night. This is total for the party, by the way. 150 gold for the night. And that would be like craziness. Like you guys more or less are renting this ridiculous, huge hotel. You have an entire room, a floor for yourselves. Huge luxurious baths that also have like hot water brought to you. Blah 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 blah. The food that you just ate was like top notch, high quality, greatest alcohol. You know what?
Anna. It's true though. It's so true. You need
It's
to
my
not
change
God.
me being born. It's
Oh,
You need,
Oh, God.
now you're getting religion in here. Oh, come on.
it's
Yeah.
been there.
Honestly, with where you were placed, it does kind of look like you're being born. You probably should.
Hold
change.
on, Mom.
Oh, wait.
Jeez.
oh.
Not ready. Ah,
You know that doesn't surprise me. I bet you're the kind of kid that always tries to crawl back in. Oedipus joke.
Oh, and his character's the same way. Oh.
How do you Inception
man,
Oedipus?
you guys figured that out really fast.
Inception
All right, well, now that it's
Oedipus?
on the table, Daelric, I'd like to write some love poems to my mother. Can you help me, Mr. DM? I want to
Hold on.
I want her to write back. I want to read them
wait.
out loud.
You need to roll
Stop.
performance.
Viewers
You need to
just
roll
dropped by
performance.
25.
Oh
You need
God.
to roll performance. How good is this poem?
Well, that wouldn't be performance, would it?
Nope, it's performance.
Well, I'm not super great at putting on a performance.
Well,
Just
you-
kidding. It's one of my best.
That's what she said.
skills.
For a sec,
What
I
a
thought he was
tease!
gonna
Look.
nat 20. I thought he was gonna nat
Oh,
20.
yeah.
Dang, now that my own mom wants to sleep with me, that sucks.
Not even.
Moving on.
I will be right back.
Ew.
I think with
Ah,
that,
I think I need, like-
we
I
take
need,
our
like-
first break.
Ugh.
From that, I think we need our first break for you to clean out your ears. You know.
Oh God, that was so gross. So, how much do you guys end up spending for the evening?
I don't know. Yondis is buying.
I'll cover it. I'll cover the room and the meal. And then
No,
how much for a bath?
Was it 15 or 150 you were spending?
The 15
So you guys have nice rooms and whatnot. That covers everything for the evening.
and the bath.
Everything. It's just like the bath's not as nice, not as luxurious. It's warm
It's-
water, but it's not hot water. Things like that.
Is
you know?
it 3 baths right next to each other, like old Western
we hold hands?
style, where you're like sitting in a bath,
No, there's
smoking a
actually-
cigar, talking to each other?
This is actually still wealthy, so you guys are able to like utilize like a bathhouse style like that, or you can actually have your own individual bath. We have to go one at a time, but the problem is the water's not necessarily changed out every time.
Bathhouse it is.
Rita goes last. Ew.
No, she goes first. What are you talking about? She's all bloody. We wait.
Oh, you want to swim in her blood? This is getting weird. Moving on.
No,
So,
it was the bathhouse, not sharing the bath.
Yes.
So we have different baths.
so of course, bathhouse style. Next day, you guys wake up and so on and so forth. Now, I know you have multiple missions today. You wanted to make your way over to the mercantile area, the merchant area, to see if there were any things of interest for you to buy, but also you wanted to start trying to reach out and find contacts here. That was one of the most important things that you needed to do. So you almost want to like see, almost like, putting the hand through the glory hole or whatever to see if there's anybody that's like responding, like, hey, how are you? You want to try to find. You want to see if there's anybody that you can find that is willing to kind of like work with you guys. You've already realized that there is some sort of criminal element here. Whether it's an established thieves guild or multiple thieves guilds, whatever it might be, you have no clue. They might all be independents. Who knows? That's all stuff for you to kind of figure out. So what's your plan of attack? What do you want to do? Was there a particular shop that you wanted to go to? These are all questions that I'm asking you and expect answers for when we come back from this break. We'll be right back, and hopefully this time we do more than 24 hours in our hour and a half.